Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I am going to share how to toilet train your 2-year-old. So if you didn't know, I have already trained 2 boys on how to use the toilet, and I will have 2 girls to train coming up soon as well. So keep in mind that my tips have worked with my boys, which doesn't necessarily mean that they may work with girls. And I don't know for sure if, they need different tips and tricks, but just remember this is how I trained my boys to go to the toilet. Okay, so a bit of a background. I trained Amias to use the toilet when he was, I think it was a week before his 2nd birthday, and basically from the week when we first started toilet training, he has been close to perfect ever since. He has had a few stuff ups lately, and I have noticed that if your child is finally toilet trained and then they have a little accident, I find that they go into a bit of a regression. So just keep in mind that that can happen. It doesn't mean that your child needs to be put back into nappies. It just means that you might need to implement these tips again if they start going into a regression. Tip number 1 is to allow your child to watch you go to the toilet in the weeks or months leading up to when you want to toilet train them. And for most of us mums, I'm sure this has already been the case since they were born because if you're anything like me, I don't think I've gone to the toilet alone for the last 7 years. But do let them watch you so that they don't have this fear around the toilet, okay? Remember, they're only quite small, especially if they're 2, and the toilet can seem quite big and scary to them, especially when they can hear the flushing sound. So allow them to watch you go to the toilet, talk to them as you're sitting on the toilet, just to make them feel comfortable in the environment, and hopefully that will help soften them up to sitting on the toilet themselves. My tip number 2 is to organize your week of toilet training to be at home. So make sure that you have your groceries ready for the week. Try to organize your play dates and maybe even cancel them for that week as well, because if you are able to be at home, you're able to focus more on the task at hand. So remember that there is going to be a ton of accidents. For me, I was lucky, I guess you could say that, with within 2 days, my 2-year-old, both times were basically fully trained. However, it might not be the case for you. So I would plan for the longest time that it may take, which for me, I think would be up to 7 days. And if you're lucky, anywhere from 2 to 3 days, if you implement all these tips, by the time those 3 days are up, your child should be fully toilet trained. Remember, I'm not meaning at nighttime. That will come naturally down the track. This is purely for daytime when they are awake. So organize your time at home for the week and make sure you make it all about toilet training them. Try not to have any distractions so that the process goes smoothly. My next tip for when you are toilet training your child is to keep them overly hydrated. Now remember, we want this process to be as quick as possible for both your sanity and for your child as well. And so what I did was I gave Amias juice. Now I did water it down, but remember that I never give him anything other than water. When it comes to my hubby looking after him, that's a different story. But with me, he knows you're not going to get anything other than water. So find something that your kid really enjoys and that they will happily drink all day long, so that you have more opportunities to get them sitting on the toilet. Now, I know that juice is filled with sugar, cordial is filled with sugar, smoothies, whatever you may choose. I know it's not necessarily that great for them. However, remember, this is only for the short term. Once your child is toilet trained, 3 to 7 days, get them back to your normal routine. You don't need to give it to them ever again, okay? This is just so that they are drinking it constantly throughout the day, and so you don't need to, keep nagging them to drink their water bottles. So hydrate them so that they have more opportunities to go to the toilet and practice. Tip number 4, once they are hydrated and they are drinking their drink bottle all throughout the day, you want to set a timer for 15 minutes. And yes, you will have accidents. Yes, be prepared to be cleaning up wee all day long, but hopefully there's no number 2s. So set a timer. Each time it goes off, tell them it's toilet time, take them to the toilet, sit them down on their little seat, try to get them to relax, which leads into the next tip. Tip number 5, once you have your child on the toilet, you want to make that time as fun as possible. And the reason why is because we need to be relaxed in order to do our wees and our poos. Especially with your child, if they are tense or fearful or scared or hate sitting there, they aren't going to be able to go toilet. So what I did was I gave Amai's iPad, and he was only allowed the iPad to play on it or watch the Wiggles or whatever he wanted when he was sitting on the toilet. One, it distracted him, so he wasn't focusing on what he was doing sitting on the toilet. He was just focusing on the iPad and having fun. Yes, he may have had to sit there for 5-10 minutes, but sometimes he wouldn't have done anything, and that's fine. I would just pop him off and say, yay, give him a bit of praise for trying. If they have done a wee in that time that they have sat there, get them to look at it. I know it's a bit gross, but get them to look at it and just make a big deal out of it. Like, yay, you did a wee, woohoo. And then they should get excited as well. Remember, they're only little babies. If you don't have an iPad, that's fine. The idea is to just get them having fun on the toilet. So maybe give them your phone to play with, maybe sing songs with them or read a book. Anything to get their mind off what they're actually doing should work well. And my last tip for toilet training is praise. Remember, give them so much praise. Another way to look at this is a reward for when they go. Some people give lollies. The videos I've watched on YouTube with toilet training, some mums gave them a little treat. I didn't want to do that. So what I did instead is I just gave him a ton of praise. I would clap my hands and say yay, and we'd do a little dance together. It sounds so lame, but it obviously worked. And now to this day, each time he goes to the toilet, he still claps and says, yay, mummy, I went to the toilet. I did a poo. You know, like, he's proud of it, which is exactly the kind of feelings that you want your child to have when they have achieved something or they are learning to achieve going to the toilet. A quick note to mention is don't react if your child does have an accident. Yes, they're probably going to wee a lot of times, possibly for 5 days in a row, and that's fine. And yes, it is frustrating to clean it up, especially if you have a lot of carpet in your house. However, if you create a negative connotation around what you are doing with toilet training, you're gonna put your child off. So don't do that at all. Just quickly clean it up. Don't even make a fuss about it. I will also mention that Amias is just over 2.5 now, and he's fully toilet trained throughout the night as well. I didn't do anything to help with that. It took him about 5-6 months for him to realize that he could go to the toilet during the night. What happened was I would put the sleep diapers on each night he went to bed, and one day I realized that I hadn't seen any wee in his nappies for quite a long time. And so I put him into undies that day, put him to bed, and yeah, I found out that he just could hold on to it really well throughout the night. Some mums like to just go all out and toilet train them through the day and the night, but for me, it was just too hard. I have other kids to look after as well. So if you have a bit more time, then just be patient. Your child will most likely toilet train themselves throughout the night as well over time. And for me, it took about 6 months for Amias to hold on to his wees. Cool guys, I'm gonna quickly finish off this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it helped you, and I hope you implement these tips into toilet training your 2-year-old. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you'd like to see more parenting and faith-based videos. And I hope you have a great day. I need to go grab my baby.